Good morning from Manly. It's currently 10:35 a.m. on Thursday, the 6th of August, 2026. It's now 5 minutes past me walking down slowly to the bus via the post office because I was checking out at 10. I could have gone to the post office, sent that package to Yeronga, which is about 13 kilometres, 14 kilometres from here, to a post-restaurant address for my son. And look, when I leave a hotel room, and I have left upwards of 1,000 in my life, and musicians and comedians and touring artists are saying, double that, triple it, and you know, that's me at age 40, so I get that. I'm nothing special at all. However, for some of my muckers, for some of my people, I once met a bloke in Sydney and he'd lived at 2 addresses. He was born in a house, he got married and moved to another house, he split up with his wife and he bought out her share, and he was living there, and he was about 10 or 20 years older than me at the time. This would have been 2013, so I would have been about 46, 47, and that's he. When I told him about my life at the time, he looked at me, and I think he needed to go off and have a Beck's cup of tea and a good lie down. He could not fathom or understand. So my thing is this. Well, I have many things, as the bishop said to the actress. Look at my, take anything from the top shelf and let's get started. No, there's a lovely song which I quote again and again and again, and I've got some dodgy old footage from the Woodford Folk Festival of them doing it live. I've got them doing it at the National Multicultural Festival, at this festival, at that gig. They're called the Borderers. That's the Borderers, and the last S is a capital, the Borderers. From, oh, this is my hotel room, I love it. When I walked in, I can't remember if the blind would have been up, and the first thing I saw when I walked in was this, and I thought, yeah, I'm in the right place. This is going to do nicely. This is going to be me sat here for most of the day watching sports ball and listening to music, and then my view, which cannot distract me out the window, is that. Love it. Because before this, for the last 4 nights before I got here, and I've been here now for 6 nights, for the last 4 nights, I was on the 72nd floor on a corner block with a 270-degree view of Brisbane, Brisbane and so much more. The port, the bends in the river, I could see the Hawthorn, blah, blah. You can go back and look at it if you want to. I'm a lecturer and a tutor, and will be again, have been, will be again. I'm not going to check your work. It is not on the test. You can look at it if you want to, if you scroll back on Overheard Productions or Bill the Gypsy. However, it was distracting, and I thought I could be sat here for 4 nights and 5 days and got an early check-in, got a late check-out because I'm I'm a loyalty member, and that's nothing special. You don't pay for a loyalty member of that particular chain, but you get amazing discounts, and I was on the 72nd floor on a corner thing for reasons, and I wasn't paying a horrendous amount of money, but I've spoken about that elsewhere, so let's move on. Time does go on, and so do I. I've got to get out of here now, currently 38 minutes late, and somebody's, oh no, the text me, look, 38 minutes late, but that's okay, because if you want to have a safe life, don't take risks. Cut to the chase, jump right in, jump right in, jump right in. The Borderers. Oh, that's where else? Blue Mountains Music Festival. I took not a beautiful, but I took probably the best vision, because the one I took up at Woodford was on an old Nokia Navigator phone, and it was at the concert stage at Woodford Folk Festival, if you know that. The music was blaring out, and the phone was doing this. The sound input levels were going, I can't handle this, I'm just going to sort of slow down and crouch down and shut down. And so it was pretty murky. But sometimes those are okay. I once did one of these in Canberra City for DJ and the Charisma Cats. And God love her, DJ got in touch with me a couple of years later and said, can you take that down? Because that's not how we want to present ourselves. I went, you got it, mate. I mean, you absolutely. Bang, gone. So, where were we? Oh, yeah, so I'm going to turn off some lights. This is an idiot's check. So I usually do idiot's checks either with photographs or with video. That is going to stay. That's going to stay that's going to stay. I'm going to leave a little lovely little note because the cleaners here are glorious. Really, really, oh, one gave me a bit of dud information, but that's okay. That just gave me opportunities to work out that if I wanted to, I could have a bath. I didn't in the end because Manly's out there, and having a bath is just taking time away from meeting some of the most amazing champion people that I've ever had the pleasure to meet. And I've rejigged and recalibrated my whole day. So I haven't washed these to within an inch of their life and cleaned them and dried them off. If the rules said thou must do that and return it into the state in which thou foundst it, I would have, not would of, people. It's not difficult. Would have, not OFHAVE. Got it? Good. That's why I'm going back to lecturing and tutoring and mentoring. How do you get to be an adult and don't know that would of is not a thing? Anyway, that's coming with me, but I'm going to ask downstairs for a bit of tape because this is from Rick's something or other. Rick is an amazing guy. I walked past his stall on Saturday morning at the Manly Creative Markets, and I heard him, Overheard Productions, remember, Overheard. As I walked past, he said, "Oh yeah, it's been a good day. I sold 9. He sold 9 clocks." And I said, "No, you haven't." He said, "What?" I said, "No, you sold 10. I'll have that one." Route 66. I've not been to Route 66, haven't been that far north. However, I did that, what was it? Ted's in there, and Ted is from Play School. And Play School, the television show in Australia, was commenced in 1966, and so was I. So, as I walked away, I heard him say, "Well, now I've sold 10, because the previous week he'd sold 1. And I said, oh yeah, blustery, blowy. I was in town. It was awful. And he said, no, out here it was beautiful. But for some reason, I sold 1 the whole time, the whole morning. So I said, well, 10 is good. He said, it is. And then I went next door, and it's in my pocket. It's in my bag. I bought 3 stones off Alan. And I won't do the Alan thing. Now, finally, as I leave, what I did do is I made sure this Google TV, I made sure that I logged it out. Now, if you forget to log a television out, there could be all sorts of reasons. And I tell the story about I was in Nepal, in Kathmandu in 1986. We'd done 9 days trekking through the mountains. We'd come back, we'd decompressed, we'd debriefed. We had a beautiful Indian, not Nepalese, an Indian meal at the restaurant at the Sheraton, which sounds glitzy, but it was pretty bare bones back then. It might have changed. And then we went to Pumpkins Disco, and I got on it because back when I was 20 at the time, back in those days, in my 20s and 30s, I used to get on it and get on it and get on it. And I woke up with somebody saying, "Mate, the bus is leaving in 5 minutes." And my stuff was strewn all around the room. We were in like doubles, but this person here, I forget who it was, had decided to not wake me up when he went down for breakfast. He thought, oh, I'll just let Billy sleep for a little while. And then he came up and said, "Mate, you better get your shit together because we're leaving in 5 minutes. Oh, I've got to skip. So just skip. Now, as I leave and as I gather up my last possessions, and I did ring the number, I did ring the phone number, and I spoke to the lovely D full stop. And I said, D, I won't keep you, you're driving. Can I get an extra 10 or 15 minutes? I'll duck out and I'll tell the cleaning staff. Yep, that's no problems. And while this has been gloriously glittery, fantastic, Manly Hotel, I'm going to give them 26 stars out of 5. I'm going to say that you can be as good as you want to, but unfortunately, you know what it's like. You can't pick your neighbours, and the people in room 444, they can go and get. But I've talked about that elsewhere. And there's one more thing before I leave, which is this. I've logged out of my Google TV, but pretty much every single time I log into one of these things, I find that people have left them. Now, if it's obviously a children's account, because it's like a parent or 2 parents or 2 guardians or whatever and children, I'll log them out myself because you don't want somebody sketchy going in there and doing terrible things with the account. Never mind that it might have parental controls. However, if you're an adult, and look, I'm sorry to anybody, and I offer a bulk apology to anybody who is left for very, very, very good reasons. I only came up with this strategy about 2 weeks ago, maybe not even. if you've left all of your settings open, and not only your account open, but your access to different apps, I'm going to very legally and verily and truly and veritably, I'm going to log into your YouTube, because you've left your YouTube open and you've got to do an access thing to get into YouTube. And I'm going to dial up, and this is no parental controls needed, hot yoga. So this has been running for about the hour and so, back an hour and a half that I've been, and some of it's a bit more than this. This is so G-rated. This you could see, you know, in prime time. My God, the stuff you can see in prime time, though. Holy smoke. The language you can hear in prime time. SBS at 7:30. SBS Viceland. Oh, and SBS 2 is coming, I read. Yeah, so this is nothing. But the ones that were on before, it was just like, keep your focus, Billy. Just get on. So, poor old A full stop. And I've been doing this for a few days now, and I thought he's going to twig at some point when he goes to his search and finds that it's all full of hot yoga. And look, some a bit extra hot yoga, but I've not done anything that needs parental controls or anything. But yeah, log out of your Google TV, your Safari TV, or your Apple TV, or whatever it is, because if you don't, your search history, going to be a lot of that. From Manly, it's Bill Quinn. I better get downstairs, have a quick drink, hand my card in, and explain myself, and then probably catch a DD into the city. No, I'm not. Oh no, I'm not going to go and pick up my laptop now. I've decided that there are other ways. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and lovely. Bill Quinn from Overheard Productions, Bill the Gypsy. On behalf of Ted E. Quinn, I'll see you when I'm looking at you. They're smiling, not for the camera, they're smiling at the people at the back who've got the long photo lenses on. Bye for now. See, this is not misogyny. This happened to me when I was first on Instagram. I just decided that Instagram influencers who are doing this sort of stuff, and they're showing you their bra collections and their lingerie and their dresses, and they were proud of who they were and what their bodies and how they presented. And they might work very hard, very, very hard on strength and conditioning and makeup and defoliating, all that sort of stuff. And I thought, you know what? You guys go. So I used to follow back in the day, so let's call it 2020. And I used to follow a whole bunch of them. The only problem is, if I was out somewhere and they said, oh yeah, just search on your Instagram for this, when I hit my search thing, I would get a whole page of this sort of stuff. And if somebody was looking over my shoulder, and I got this a couple of times, they said, look, I better go. And I said, no, let me explain. And sometimes they'd say, no, that's okay, I've got to go. But honestly, they are happy and proud and living their life. So I don't like the whole thing about live your best life. That's, if you want to do that, you fill your boots. But I'm now running a little bit late, so I do need to get to the airport because I do have a new thing, which is missing planes. And now I know Virgin Australia doesn't do that. William Francis Quinn, could you get to gate 44, or we're going to take off without you? But now, they don't do that at Brisbane Airport. But I need to get to find out what Jetstar. Oh, it might be the whole airport. Yeah, better go. See you, bye. Overhead Production. I'll see you when I'm looking at you. But bye for. Well, there's an opening for a young man. I did not say that. You thought I said that. Goodbye. See you, bye. Why did you have to ruin it? Edit it. Edit the last bit, because that was wrong. That was wrong. That was deliberate. See you, bye.